Tripods. Even non-camera people know what a tripod is and what it does. I mean, tripods are basically all the same. How different can they really be? Well, apparently quite different. This is the Sachtler Flowtech 75, and it's one of the best tripods. No, it doesn't have the weight capacity of some of the really high-end pro tripods, but it does have a few tricks. First of all, it's almost completely made of carbon fibre. That makes it really lightweight and easy to transport. And it's not just the material the legs are made of. The shape of them is incredibly ergonomic. It's comfortable to carry the tripod on your shoulder, and you know when you collapse a tripod and you've got your fingers around one of the legs and they get crushed? Well, thanks to the design, you don't have to worry about that anymore. To make it even better, the legs are held together magnetically to make it easy to carry, and so they don't flop around everywhere when you pick the tripod up. The tripod feet have spikes in them for soft terrain, and of course there are these removable rubber feet for normal situations. Going up to the top of the tripod reveals this very sturdy carry handle. But none of these things are the main features of the tripod. This is. You can lock the entirety of each leg with one latch. I can't even begin to describe how much easier this makes filming. It's so effortless to set this tripod up and change the height in seconds. Is it 100% necessary? Maybe not. But it makes life so much easier, and it encourages you to try different camera heights because it's so quick to adjust. And if you're worried about these coming loose, well, so far after nearly 2 years of use, they haven't come accidentally undone once. I definitely trust this locking mechanism. Of course, being a Sachtler tripod, the build quality is very impressive. This is a tripod that was built to last. Admittedly, I haven't done anything too extreme with it yet, but so far I've had no reason to doubt its capability. From the dustier and muddier shoots I've had, I can say it's pretty easy to clean, which is good because I really like showing off the carbon fibre. Believe it or not, I get quite a few people asking me if this is real or some sort of stuck-on effect wrap. My tripod kit came with a removable spreader. It gives the tripod a little more rigidity and allows the legs to be held closer together for a bit of extra height. In fact, with the spreader, my C100 Mark II is above my eye height, which is really useful if you're tall and you want a tripod that can match your eye level. If you remove the spreader, then you can get the Flowtech pretty low to the ground. If the spreader sounds like something you want, then be sure to check it's included when you look at buying a Flowtech, because not all kits come with the spreader. If you do accidentally buy one without the spreader, it's not the end of the world though, as they are sold separately, although you'll probably get a better deal if you buy both together. There is a little flex in the tripod legs when they're fully extended. It might be a problem for ultra high precision moves, but it has yet to disrupt any of my shots. These next bits will depend on how you buy the tripod. I bought it as a kit, so I also got a bag and a fluid head. The bag feels well made and expensive. It's got some padding to protect the tripod, a sturdy zip, and it holds its shape very well even when it's empty. I'm also a fan of these clip together handles, as well as this protective rubber section on the underside of the bag. The tripod head is the ACE XL. It's good, but realistically it's the cheapest head you should really be using with this tripod. Honestly, if I had the budget, I would have gone for one of the FSB heads, but they're nearly the price of a tripod. If I did more sports or live performance filming, which generally involves pans and tilts at long focal lengths, then I'd been a lot more tempted to spend the extra money on one of the FSB heads. All that being said, the ACE XL is not a bad fluid head. It's easy to adjust, pretty smooth, has several steps of counterbalance, and is very easy to lock. You can also adjust the pan and tilt resistance in 3 steps. One of my favourite features is this backlit bubble level, which is really useful on night shoots or even just dark interiors. So all of that sounds great, but what about the drawbacks? Well, there are 2 main ones. First, because of the leg design, it doesn't collapse quite as small as other tripods that have 3 clamps per legs. Personally, I don't find this too much of an issue, but if equipment compactness is a big thing for you, then it's worth considering. But I think that's pretty unlikely to stop anyone from buying it. No, what I think is going to stop people from buying it is the price. With the ACE XL fluid head, the kit I have, well, the prices range from $1,250 to $1,500, and that can go up pretty quickly if you want one of the FSB heads. And this is the 75mm bowl version. If you want the 100mm version that can take bigger tripod heads, then that will be even more. So, is the tripod worth it? Well, I think that depends on what kind of situation you're using it in. Now I do some conferences and some sports, some theatrical events, that kind of stuff. And when you're just setting the camera up once, panning and tilting around, and then at the end of the shoot, collapsing the tripod, it's a bit hard to justify the money for the extra lightness and for the very clever leg height adjustment. Personally, I think you'd be better off saving some money on a cheaper tripod, or potentially going for some cheaper legs and then spending more money on the tripod head. But I don't just do those kind of shoots. I also do more creative projects such as music videos and short films, and for that kind of stuff, having this new tripod has been invaluable. It's really lightweight, it's easy to carry around, it's quick to set up, and as I've mentioned, it's very nice to be able to change the height of the camera quickly. It's really been so much nicer having this tripod, and it feels really painful to use a normal 3-stage tripod after having used this. For those kind of projects, if you have the budget, I absolutely recommend the Flowtech 75. Yes, it's expensive, but it makes your life easier, and in my opinion, there is a lot to be said for equipment that makes it easier to film. After all, saving valuable time on set can allow you to get more shots, and if you can cram a few days filming, say 3 days filming into 2 days filming, you'll save far more money by doing that than compared to the cost of the tripod. Now of course, this tripod isn't going to replace those really high-end tripods with the mechanical wheels to pan and tilt the camera and the really high payload capacity of the more professional tripods. But if you're not doing that sort of stuff, you just want a tripod that has the camera, maybe a small rig, I think the Sachtler Flowtech is definitely worth considering.